time here. One of the most confusing terms in cruise ship medicine is the term senior doctor and junior doctor. What is the difference between a senior doctor and a junior doctor? The term junior doctor is not an official term used in the classification of officers on board. You do not have a position called junior doctor. It doesn't exist. When there's two doctors on board, the only classifications that you'll find are the ship doctor and the senior doctor. On the name tag, you will see Dr. XYZ, senior doctor, and Dr. 123, doctor. So how did this junior doctor term came to be? When I joined Carnival Cruise Line in 2011, the management at Carnival would refer to the senior doctor and the junior doctor. But in fact, no doctor working on a cruise ship is a junior doctor. No. They all worked for a minimum of 4 to 5 years in an emergency unit, which are the common criteria for most cruise lines in the world. So yes, some might still be talking about junior doctor, senior doctor, but truly speaking, there are no junior doctors on cruise ships. So passengers, sometimes we'll hear passengers asking the doctor, so are you the junior doctor or the senior doctor? And innocently enough, that doctor will say, oh, I'm the junior doctor, not understanding what he's really saying. Because when the passenger is listening to that, he's thinking, oh, I'm being treated by a junior doctor, so maybe this guy qualified last year. And so today, in fact, starting around 2020, I would say 2012, the term junior doctor started disappearing. I, for one, was pushing very hard for management not to use the term junior doctor, because that would give the wrong perception to the passengers and the crew. We don't talk about the junior captain and the captain. We said the staff captain and the captain. Second point. Now, the senior doctor and the doctor, and for the sake of this video, I'm going to refer to the regular doctor as junior, right? So the junior doctor and the senior doctor, academically speaking, in terms of experience, the so-called junior doctor might be much more experienced, much more qualified than the senior doctor. Why? Because for you to become the head of department, and by default the senior doctor, the main criteria for you to become a senior doctor on a cruise ship, apart from obviously having your qualifications, being a good doctor, have good management skills and all that stuff, you must be familiar with all the rules and regulations of the maritime industry when it comes to the medical operations and beyond. And so often you will see a doctor with 20 years of experience going on board for the first time, but because it's his or her first time, will work as doctor number 2 or doctor number 3 when there's 3 doctors, the so-called junior doctor. While the senior doctor, the most senior doctor, the head of department, might be 20 years younger. But the difference is that senior doctor, although 20 years younger and having 20 years less of experience as a medical practitioner, as an emergency doctor, that senior doctor might have 3 years of experience in the cruise ship industry. And that's very important. Imagine you coming with your 20 years of experience. In fact, I remember a professor of emergency medicine working on board as doctor number 2, or the so-called junior doctor, because he was on his first contract. If that professor had been put in as a head of department, he would not have survived. He was not familiar with CLIA, with the CDC regulations, with the HES audits, the cruise line SMSs, the VSP manual, the USPH inspections. And believe me when I tell you that for a cruise line, the most important thing is success in the USPH inspection. You can be the best doctor in the world. You can be praised by the crew, praised by the passengers, praised by the officers as the best doctors they've ever seen. But if you F up the USPH inspection, you will be fired. The USPH inspection is very important for all cruise lines. Yes, when I worked on my first cruise line back in 2011, I arrived as a senior doctor on a one-doctor ship, and I went through these inspections and these audits alone as a single doctor on board, but I was an exception to the rule. Apart from me, and I'm not trying to throw flowers at myself, but apart from me, personally, I've never seen another doctor coming on board as the head of department, having never ever set foot on a cruise ship. It just doesn't happen because the risk is just too great. So once again, if you're a passenger and you work on a cruise line where you still hear the terms junior, senior, and the doctor treating you is a so-called junior doctor, is not junior in the sense that you think. It doesn't mean that he just qualified last year and now he's doing his internship. That doctor might have 20 years of experience behind him, but he's being called a so-called junior doctor because he's brand new on the ship. But his skills, his experience, his knowledge are still top-notch. Cheers.